to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, the Jailblazers era, okay? People say the Jailblazers era started when they brought in Isaiah Ryder, Rasheed Wallace, but I think the actual beginning of the Jailblazers era began when they fired Rick Adelman after the 1994 season. Okay. So that was, I think, the real start of the Jailblazers era, but some people point to it as Rasheed Wallace getting their J.R. Ryder getting acquired by the Trailblazers. Okay. And so, I was reading the Jailblazers book, okay, and I saw some things in there, and it's like, how did I miss that? Okay, how did I miss reading that? Okay, so Bob Whitsett came to the Blazers in either '94 or '95. Okay, and under Bob Whitsett, it was known that he valued talent over character. Okay, talent over character. And he was even said in the Jailblazers book, character of players was not a critical virtue for Bob Whitsett. Okay, so character was not a critical virtue for Bob Whitsett, who valued talent over everything. That's how you get to the Rasheed Wallaces, the J.R. Ryders, the Qyntel Woods, the Zach Randolphs, the Damon Stoudamires, the Sean Kemps. Okay, when you put talent above character, regardless, you're gonna bring in those type of players, and that was those players that Bob Whitsett acquired. Okay. Now, Rod Strickland, who was actually there a full 2 years before PJ Carlesimo got there as head coach, he had came to the Blazers under Rick Adelman. Okay. And he had came in the year after the Blazers went to the NBA Finals. So Portland virtually brought back that whole team. Okay. They did have some new faces on there. Rod Strickland, Mario Ellie. They had a rookie a guy by the name of Dave Johnson. Okay. But Portland pretty much brought back the same team that went to the NBA Finals the year before. Okay. But within a couple of years, most of those players, or either half of those players, were gone. Drexler was traded mid-season in 1995. Then that only left Porter, Buck Williams, Jerome Kersey, and Cliff Robinson there. And then Terry Porter was gone, and Jerome Kersey were gone after the '95 season, right? Leaving only Buck Williams and Cliff Robinson. Then Buck Williams left after the 1996 season. Then Cliff Robinson left after the 1997 season. Okay. And so, again, character of players was not a critical virtue under Bob Whitsett. And PJ Carlesimo said this. Whitsett took talented players who maybe had some baggage, but the emphasis was more on talent than personality or character. Again, talent over character. Okay. In Rod Strickland's first season with the Blazers, they were in Chicago playing the Bulls. By the way, the Blazers lost that game 111 to 99. Okay. Rod Strickland and Cliff Robinson, they were charged with battery when they got into an altercation with a truck driver in the fast food parking lot. Okay. Now, Rick Adelman was Rick Adelman was different than PJ Carlesimo, to say the least. And I think it's very, very ironic that PJ Carlesimo succeeded Rick Adelman in Portland. And then in 1997, he succeeded Rick Adelman in Golden State. The irony. The irony in that. Okay. Anyway. So Rick Adelman would work with Rod Strickland through his faults, through his troubles. He would just work with Rod Strickland through that, okay? That's the type of coach that Rick Adelman was, and Strickland loved playing for Adelman. But PJ brought a more disciplined approach that Rod Strickland really didn't like, okay? And so as a result, Strickland was late for practices. He was fined for missing mandatory weightlifting sessions. And then when he wasn't traded in 1995, or 1996 rather, when he wasn't traded after the trade deadline during the 1996 season, the Blazers suspended him indefinitely, okay, after not being traded, okay. And so also James Robinson and Cliff Robinson got into a post-practice fight. Yeah. See, talent over character. That was by Whitsett. Okay. And I just mentioned Buck Williams leaving after the 1996 season. Okay. Buck Williams had this to say. Okay. When I left, I could sense the direction the Blazers were headed in with the players they were bringing in. The Rod Stricklands, the Rasheed Wallaces, the J.R. Riders of the world. I knew at some point the whole complexion of the team would change from the original way. If you just look at talent, you miss the whole picture. You have to have a general manager who has a feel for people, a feel for the history of the team. When you get too far into the talent, that's when you find yourself in a position of decline. My last couple of years there, Portland put talent above character. Well, what do you know? Buck Williams was echoing the same sentiment. Portland put talent above character, and it was win at all cost. It was a learning experience for Paul Allen and his management team, especially in the playoffs. You win games with character and chemistry. Okay. And so Buck Williams was spot on. When you put talent above character, win at all costs, that's how you end up with guys like J.R. Ryder, who PJ Carlesimo did not want to bring in. Okay. PJ Carlesimo did not want the Blazers acquiring J.R. Ryder. He didn't want him. But what did I say a few moments ago? Bob Whitsett was talent above character. Character was not a critical virtue. It was all about the talent. Okay. And so you get guys like J.R. Ryder, who with the Minnesota Timberwolves, his first practice with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he showed up late. Yeah. His first practice with the Minnesota Timberwolves, J.R. Ryder showed up late. Go figure. Not only did he show up late for his first practice, he also missed many practices that year, his rookie season. He made a public appearance in the Minnesota Mall, right? And then he kicked a woman in the back, right? Like J.R. Ryder kicked a woman in her back, and he had to and the woman filed a lawsuit. Okay, writer paid out like $100,000, something like that. Isaiah Ryder, J.R. Ryder said this. Okay, J.R. Ryder said, "I'm a pretty smart guy." This is when he was still in Minnesota. Okay, J.R. Ryder said, "I'm a pretty smart guy. I know right from wrong. It's just that sometimes I'm late or lazy." That's J.R. Ryder for you. Okay, talent above character doesn't get you very far. Okay, and so Kevin McHale has some critical words. Okay, about J.R. Ryder when he was traded. Then you bring in guys like Rasheed Wallace, okay, who had 22 technicals as a rookie, okay, and I think Chris Webber tells his story because he played with Chris Webber his rookie year. He played with Juwan Howard. Chris Webber his rookie year. Rasheed Wallace did, okay. He got thrown out versus the Chicago Bulls, okay, after he went at Luke Longley, okay. And his first game of the season, I think Chris Webber said he picked up a technical foul. His first game of the season, right? As a rookie. And so, talent above character. And J.R. Ryder, who was not wanted by P.J. Carlesimo, never changed in Portland. There were people who said that he did not work. He never worked hard. He was never on time. He missed team flights, suspensions, off the court problems, on court problems, feuding with PJ Carlesimo, all that. But again, Bob Whitsett, talent above character. Okay, that's how you end up with guys like Rasheed Wallace picking up 41 technical fouls during the 2001 season. That's how you end up with guys like Qyntel Woods, who used his rookie card, who tried to use his rookie card as his identification when he was stopped by police in 2003, his rookie year. Okay. That's how you end up with guys like Ruben Patterson, who tried to force his nanny to have oral sex with him when he was in Seattle. Okay. That's how you end up with guys like Damon Stoudamire, Rasheed Wallace getting pulled over for smoking weed. Okay. You end up with guys like Zach Randolph, Sean Kemp, who had drug problems and weight issues. But again, Bob Whitsett, talent over character. Okay, win at all cost. And what did Buck Williams say? My last couple of years here at Portland, put talent above character, and it was win at all cost. And that's probably how you end up blowing in a 15-point lead to the Lakers in the NBA playoffs. Okay. And so the Bonzi Wells of the world, okay? Yeah. So Bob Whitsett, man, you talk about someone who wanted to win at all costs, even if it was bringing in trouble guys. I don't think he really, I don't think Bob Whitsett really truly cared about players who had off the court problems. Okay. Again, talent over character. Okay. And so, yeah, didn't work. Um, I I would say it worked somewhat on the court. It worked somewhat, but still had problems on the court. Still had problems off the court. So yeah. Um, hold on. Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about is Michael Jordan versus Greg Anthony. Okay. And I was thinking about this the other day. Um, how Michael Jordan was no fan of Greg Anthony. Okay. And so it was the 91-92 regular season. Okay. And the Knicks were playing the Bulls at Chicago Stadium. And Jordan had the ball. A pick was ahead for Jordan. And then this is what had happened. Okay. All right, here we go.
5 minutes left here in the third. Acts on the dribble. Baseline for Michael. Oh, hit hard by Anthony, and Michael threw the ball at Anthony, and Michael wants a piece of it. Jordan is very upset with the way he came out. Oh, man. Michael now separated by the official. He was furious with what happened. He like ran into a brick wall. Michael came right to the middle, and you don't see him. Michael's been knocked down and several times in the league in his career. Michael says he's okay. Oh, boy. Tough situation it is. Jackson and Greg Anthony talking right now. Greg Anthony, young rookie out of UNLV. 1,690 pounds.
Yeah. My guess is Michael Jordan probably reacted that way because he was a rookie who didn't know better. Okay. That's just probably my high guess on it. Yeah, but that's just my high guess on it. Greg Anthony was a rookie, and Jordan didn't like rookies who tried to come after him. Okay, but this was not over by any means. Okay, this was not over by any means. Yeah, this was not over by any means because it carried over onto Christmas Day. Okay, when Michael Jordan dunked over Greg Anthony and that come from behind win the Bulls had over the Knicks on Christmas Day. And it continued until the 1993 NBA playoffs too. No, right there, come on. Yep, stop right there, yeah. Okay. So this happened during the 1993 playoffs. Okay. It was game 2.
The Bulls in the midst of a 9-2 run to take a 3-point lead. Chicago with its 4th team foul. The Knicks with only 2. They double up on Anthony. Starks had it knocked away by Paxson. And here comes Pippen giving it up. Michael Jordan. Jordan with some words for Rick Anthony. It is certainly known that Michael Jordan is not a great fan of Greg Anthony. That goes back to Anthony getting the scrap last year as a rookie with Michael Jordan. The game in Chicago. We'll be right back. Made it clear on a number of occasions that he does not like the playing personality of Rick Anthony. And this goes back to an episode December 13th, 1991. Game in Chicago, Greg Anthony's rookie season. Here's the play where Jordan did not appreciate the hard foul by Anthony, threw the ball at Anthony, and that leads us to what took place here just...
Michael had some words for Greg Anthony after that at a dunk, and yeah.
A moment ago, with Jordan able to stuff it home, and then had some words for Greg Anthony. Well, the unselfish play of Scottie Pippen giving that ball to Jordan for the dunk, and Jordan finishes with a little verbal response also to Greg.
And yet, it still was not over between Michael Jordan and Greg Anthony, okay? I don't think Greg Anthony appreciated the fact that Jordan had some words for him, okay? I don't think Anthony appreciated that, okay? Let me find it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay. So it's late in the game, okay? And Scottie Pippen just got thrown out moments earlier, okay? Scottie Pippen was thrown out by Bill Oakes, okay? So Scottie Pippen gets thrown out in the fourth quarter, all right? And then moments later, Greg Anthony is in the game, and this is what happens.
Small, but John Paxson is going to go 3 yards. Knows it. It turns out a guy who has been deactivated, actually on the injured list with a phantom injury, would have helped in this series. Ed Neely, who they made the decision with Darryl Walker and Rodney McCray healthy to go with Walker. But McCray has given them nothing. And a guy like Neely can create havoc off the boards. But Phil Jackson will leave himself open to a lot of criticism because John Paxson hasn't shown he has the touch at all. And the rebounding by the Bulls front line has been formidable. And now they are going with 2 big men instead of 3. Knicks 86, the Bulls 77.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
If one of the other guards will be able to catch fire, that'll force Pat Riley into making a move. Doing a good job keeping Jordan out by half court, knocking time away. And Jordan is able to penetrate, and he is swallowed by Anthony, and that should be a flagrant. Yes, it is. He's out, Marv. Oh, he's been thrown out. Bill Oakes at it again with a big call. You know, this is an answer to the fact that I think that people in the league office were upset last year that John Starks was not ejected for the flagrant foul on Scottie Pippen, and they feel they should have made that move. And there's no hesitation right here. Now, normally it would be a flagrant foul, but that's a major move to throw Anthony. Look how high Anthony goes in the air. Well, that's a bad foul. There's no question. Hard to say he was looking to play the ball because he was so far behind Jordan. He was looking to hurt Michael Jordan. That was not playing the ball. But I don't know whether you throw the guy out. I mean, that was an obvious injury. That's a no-win situation for Anthony. He can do nothing but throw his arm to his opponent on a play like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time Jordan took exception to it because it was a regular season game in 1991-92 season. But in the playoffs, Michael Jordan kind of let it go. And Bill Oakes said, no. You're gone. And you heard what Marv Albert said, right? The league office was upset that John Starks wasn't thrown out because the previous series in 1992, John Starks clotheslined Scottie Pippen. And they didn't throw Starks out. Okay. So, yeah. All right. That's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. May God bless you all.